Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of the Realise Mindfulness podcast. This episode, our focus is mindfulness for life, and as we reach the milestone finale of season 1 of the podcast, it seems like a good opportunity to reflect together on the journey so far and how we can create conditions to maintain our mindfulness practice and to enable it to flourish. In the final session of the 8-week programme, there's often a sense of coming full circle as we return to the body scan as a core practice for the session. We'll mirror this in our episode today by ending with sharing a 30-minute body scan practice together. I'll also offer a summary of the themes we've explored in season 1 and guide a reflection on the insights your practice is offering you. Of course, endings are often marked with a bittersweet sense of sadness, intermingled with celebration. I will acknowledge that both those feelings are definitely present for me as I record today's episode. For instance, I'm noticing the behaviour of procrastination as I kept finding excuses to delay finishing this episode. This is a sign of my endings aversion, and my mindfulness practice helps me recognise it with kindness and even a fondness and compassionate understanding as I acknowledge the innate humanness of feeling anxious about endings, and also how my own avoidant reactions to this have both served me on occasion and also caused me discomfort and upset at other times. This is a big shift from the inner critic who would have ruled the show in years gone by, and it's a shift that's opened up as a result of my mindful compassion practice. At the same time, I'm able to acknowledge the hard work involved in making the podcast a reality. I can feel a sense of accomplishment at overcoming the technical challenges and the doubting self-talk that in the past may have stopped me from giving it a go at all. I also feel a sense of gratitude for the wonderful support I've had from my producer, Lagore Services. And so, I'm allowing myself a moment to savour a sense of appreciation and achievement. This shows up as a sense of warmth and expansion in my chest, and noticing a small smile on my face as I let the gratitude in. That's what's present for me right now, and I invite you also to check in with yourself and notice, what's my inner weather like right now? So maybe beginning by taking a pause, feeling your feet on the ground, soles of the feet in firm contact with the floor. Noticing what sensations are here right now in your body. What thoughts? What mood states? And kindly acknowledging your inner reality, just as it is in this moment. And maybe it'd be supportive to take an opportunity to ground and settle yourself by inviting attention to a familiar anchor. Maybe feet on the floor, the breath, or another familiar anchor point. And resting here for some moments to steady, restoring, replenishing. And when you're ready, widening awareness to take in a sense of the whole body, from the head down to the toes, and a sense of your wider environment, temperature, sounds, sights, And knowing these moments of mindfully pausing are a gift we can offer ourselves throughout our day, and a powerful way of nurturing our practice and keeping mindfulness alive. In a beautiful book which I highly recommend called Journeys to the Deep, a gentle guide to mindfulness meditation, Elizabeth English shares her poem Creating Conditions. She writes, "If you want birds in your garden in spring, buy bird seed, make a bird table. If you want your heart to open, relax your mind, make peace with your thoughts." In essence, the 8-week curriculums offer us a step-by-step route map to commence this journey. And as we get underway, we may well begin to develop a sense that there is actually no end destination. Rather, an invitation to simply explore and enjoy the terrain as we go. Sometimes the scenery will be calm and welcoming. At other times rugged and challenging. Either way, an attitude of mindfulness can help us be present with what's here now, with a sense of balance and groundedness. If you've been following the podcast all the way through, you may like to join me now and take some moments to reflect on the territory we've explored together and what sights, landmarks and experiences have made an impact on you. And if you're joining for the first time, or have been an occasional visitor to the podcast, then maybe listening in to see what resonates and what you may like to explore further. So, if it's appropriate for you to do so, taking an intentional pause now. You may choose to close your eyes or let your gaze soften, making any adjustments to your posture to support you in arriving in mindful presence. So if you're sitting, maybe a sense of the weight of the body settling into the chair, and the height of the body gently rising through the spine, following the rhythm of the breath as it flows in and flows out. And resting in mindful awareness whilst we reflect on the steps of our mindfulness journey so far. Beginning in episode 1 with a grounding and anchoring practice, as I shared my own story of what brought me to mindfulness. In episode 2, we began our exploration of the 8-week programme as we experienced coming back to our senses through the raisin practice. The body scan offered an opportunity to come home to our body in episode 3. And in episode 4, we befriended our busy mind, sharing a sitting practice and an opportunity to observe the arising and the passing by of sensations, sounds, and thoughts. Episode 5 marked the midpoint of Season 1, and we explored recognising reactivity and introduced the accessible and adaptable tool of the 3-step breathing space as a mindful first response. We built on this in episode 6 as we discussed responding skillfully, exploring the realisation that thoughts are not facts in a longer sitting practice, and considering how mindful awareness can support us to pause and create a space between reacting and responding enabling us perhaps to make more skillful choices. We shared a working with difficulty practice in episode 7 to support the theme of being with what's here. And building on this further in episode 8 as we experienced kindness and compassion with a befriending practice. The theme of episode 9 was caring for ourselves, which we explored through the lens of mindful movement. And today, as we come to the last episode of the season, we're reflecting on keeping our mindfulness practice alive. We've covered a lot, so taking a moment to simply rest in your anchor, maybe following the flow of the breath, or experiencing a sense of stillness and groundedness in the feet. And I'll offer some questions into this space, and not having to think too hard about your answer, rather letting the response resonate deep within you, almost as if you're standing by a body of still water and the questions land like stones thrown into water, answers resonating in ripples and slowly sinking deeper. So asking, what's been most meaningful to me? Watching the ripples and listening as the question resonates for you. Allowing the answers to settle. And dropping in another question. What stretched me? And what have I learnt from that? Letting the question resonate for you. And allowing the answers to settle. And then dropping in a final question. What am I taking away to support me in daily life? And letting the question resonate for you. Again, allowing answers to settle. And maybe taking a few more moments to rest awareness in your anchor. And then expanding awareness to a sense of the whole body. And if eyes have been shut, slowly opening them. When we explore what participants have gained and how they intend to carry it forward in a similar way on week 8 of a live group course, the answers are rich and varied. I'm regularly humbled at the resourcefulness, wisdom, and creativity of the human spirit, to know what will be of service, if only we create the time and space to tune in and reconnect with this awareness. And I invite you to consider what would be supportive for you personally to nourish and nurture your own mindfulness practice. And connecting with why this is important for you and for those that you care about. Also thinking practically about what you've discovered works well for yourself so far. Maybe agreeing a supportive routine with yourself. For instance, how regularly do you intend to come to formal practice? What time of day is most accessible for you? How long would you like to practice for each day? Perhaps if you haven't already, creating a special meditation corner in your home so you have a welcoming space for practice. Dr. Carly Hunt, PhD, has made the subject of what helps people maintain mindfulness practice the focus of her research. Her findings show that connecting with your intentions to practice, pausing to remind yourself why you're meditating or why you'd like to, and letting these intentions support and guide your practice can be really helpful. Research also shows that social support is fundamental to adopting new behaviours. And this is one reason why meditating in a live practice group, one which meets regularly, can be really helpful as a way to build community and to maintain your practice. With this in mind, you're warmly invited to join me at my free midweek meditation session. We currently meet for 30 minutes once a fortnight on a Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central European Time. Each session I guide the group in a short reflection and a longer meditation practice, a little like we do together each episode of the podcast. If you'd like to join me, you can register for free on my website, realisemindfulness.com. And of course there's a link in the show notes. And I'd really like to take this opportunity to thank you for joining me on the podcast, and in this way creating a virtual community of mindfulness together. I'm really grateful for your support, and if you've enjoyed the show, please like it and share it with anyone you think may appreciate it too. Sharing the benefits that mindfulness has brought to my own life with others is one of my deep hopes and intentions for the podcast. And it's also one of the things that helps me connect with my own why of practice. I'm excited to currently be working on plans for season 2, and I very much hope you'll join me then. And for now, let's join together in practice. And you're invited to join me in a 30-minute body scan meditation. In this 30-minute body scan practice, the invitation is to make a choice about where to be, whether it's sitting or lying. Bringing close by anything that will help support you, to help you feel more comfortable. So maybe having something to keep you warm, or something like a pillow or a cushion if that's helpful. And wherever you choose to be for this practice, just seeing if it's possible to let go of any holding in the body, any tightness or tension. So allowing the body to rest in its position and allowing the full weight of the body to be supported by the floor or the seat if you're sitting. And making a choice about whether the eyes are closed or open. And if they're open, adopting a soft gaze or lowering the gaze. And remembering that during this practice, there are lots of choices available to you. You may choose to open the eyes at certain points if they've been closed, especially if there's sleepiness around. You may choose to adjust position if that feels like a skillful choice for you at any given moment. But the invitation is just to make sure that this is also part of the practice, moving with as much awareness as possible, so that any movements that need to be made are woven into the practice. So when you're ready, tuning in now to any points of contact between the body and the floor or the seat, intentionally bringing attention to these points of contact and any sensations here. Maybe broader sensations of contact, or perhaps very specific areas of contact. And remembering that these points of contact can also be a helpful anchor for the attention, somewhere to come back to if you need to, or choose to at any time. And then when you're ready, perhaps with this sense of the contact points in the background, bringing a more focused attention to the sensations of breathing. These might be showing up in the belly as it rises on the in-breath and falls away on the out-breath, or maybe somewhere else in the body. Perhaps the nostrils, or even somewhere like the back and the shoulder blades. And if it feels right for you, just following the breath now for a few breaths. Not thinking about the breath or needing to control it in any way. Just sensing that thing called breath in the body. And if you're finding that this isn't comfortable for you right now, then choosing another anchor point in the body. Maybe going back to one of those contact points that feels very steady and grounding for you, and tuning into sensations here. And then, when you're ready, releasing attention from wherever you've been focusing and allowing it to drop now down the left leg and out into the left foot, exploring what's here. What sensations are here in the sole of the left foot, the top of the foot? Some strong sensations, and perhaps in some areas fainter sensations, or even no particular sensations at all in other areas. And remembering, we're not trying to achieve any particular state or feel any particular way, simply exploring and observing whatever's here with interest. And then, on the next out-breath, if that's helpful to you, letting go of that sense of the foot and moving attention now to the ankle. What sensations are here? And checking if there's more of a thinking about the ankle. And if so, seeing how it is to really sense into the ankle. Really experiencing the sensations there. Maybe inside the ankle joint itself, or the ankle bones. Maybe sensations of contact with clothing. Then, taking a deeper breath, and on the out-breath, if that's helpful for you, moving your attention to the lower leg, that area between the ankle and the knee, and noticing sensations here. The weight of muscle and bone. Maybe points of contact between the floor if you're lying, or the backs of the legs in contact with the seat. Maybe there are pleasant sensations around here, or a chance perhaps to savour or appreciate a particular sensation, a warmth or softness, a clarity of sensation. And if you're noticing that the mind has begun to wander, which we know is completely normal, then just observing that, noticing where the mind has gone, and then gently, patiently, guiding it back to these sensations in the lower leg. And then, when you're ready, releasing that sense of the lower leg and moving attention now to the left knee. And perhaps noticing sensations coming and going, the rising and the passing away. And when you're ready, again, if the breath is helpful, then taking a deeper breath. And on the out breath, letting go of the knee and shifting attention into the left thigh. Noticing any sensations here, heaviness or lightness. Maybe some areas with stronger sensations and some with little or no sensations. Just receiving these however they are. Seeing how it is to bring interest or curiosity to the left thigh. And when you're ready, maybe taking a slightly deeper breath in, and on the out breath, letting go of that sense of the left thigh, and intentionally moving attention across to the right leg. Dropping attention down all the way through the right leg and into the right foot. Really sensing into the whole of the foot here. The bottom of the foot, the sole, and the top of the foot. Not thinking about the foot or how it should be feeling in any particular way. Just receiving any and all sensations that are here right now. And you might choose to zoom in a little on a particular area of the foot. Bringing interest and curiosity to what's here. Or you may zoom out and sense a broader area of the foot as a whole. And when you're ready, using the breath if that's helpful, letting go of a sense of the right foot and moving up to the right ankle. Maybe areas of less sensation or stronger sensations pulling at attention. And when you're ready, letting go of the ankle and shifting attention up into the right lower leg. The large muscle at the back of the leg and the bone stretching down the front of the lower leg and the skin stretched all around the lower leg. Really exploring what's here. Noticing in particular any sensations that are perhaps pleasant in some way. And seeing how it is, if that's the case, to really appreciate, to savour these sensations. And then, letting go of the lower leg, shifting attention now up into the right knee, the back of the knee, the side and the front, maybe even inside the knee joint. Noticing if there's any sense of holding or tightness. And if that's the case, seeing how it is to just allow that, to open to that sensation a little. Just acknowledging it's here and allowing if that feels okay. And when you're ready, allowing that sense of the right knee to fade into the background. Using the breath, if this is helpful, to shift now attention to the upper leg. Tuning into any sense of contact. Sensations from the inside of the thigh. Maybe a sense of muscle. Or from the outside, the skin. Points of contact maybe with clothing or the seat or floor. Maybe tingling here. And then when you're ready, allowing a sense of the right thigh to fade into the background and shifting attention now up into the pelvis. That sense of the hip and ball-like structure of the pelvis. Noticing any sensations here. Maybe a sense of the breathing, a sense of expanding and releasing. And noticing the pleasant or unpleasant or neutral sensations that might be here. And making choices about what's right for you. Perhaps seeing how it is to allow all these experiences to be just as they are. Or we may choose to take attention to somewhere in the body that feels more steadying and supportive. So just making any choices that feel right for you. And also noticing the mind wandering, which again it may well do. So simply noticing where it's gone. And then with a sense of friendliness, with kindness, gently guiding it back to the focus of attention in this moment. And when you're ready, perhaps taking a deeper breath here. And on the out breath, shifting attention now to the lower back. Again, noticing any pleasant or unpleasant or neutral sensations here. And if there's any tightness or discomfort, making a choice here. You may want to bring a friendly attention to these sensations, being with them for a while. Or it might feel right for you instead to shift positions slightly, to allow a sense of easing or comfort. And just making this part of the practice too. Doing it with an awareness of these movements as best you can. And when you're ready, releasing that sense of the lower back and bringing attention now to the abdomen. This area of the body between the chest and the pelvis. Exploring the surface of the abdomen. Perhaps the skin stretched across this area. Maybe noticing the rising and falling that comes with the in-breath and the out-breath. Maybe pleasant sensations here. And if there are, maybe an opportunity to really savour, to appreciate them, enjoying what's here. And then when it feels right for you, letting go and moving now to the chest. Really tuning into sensations here of the breathing if that feels okay. A sense of the expanding on the in-breath and the releasing on the out-breath. Or maybe the sense of the beating of the heart. Noticing any emotions that may be present here. Maybe a sense of peacefulness or relaxation. Or maybe a sense of boredom or irritation or frustration. And these can all pull at the attention. And there's no need to chase away unpleasant emotions, or even hold on to the pleasant ones. A little like the sensations that we're exploring in the body. Seeing how it is to just allow these emotions to come and go, bringing a gentle and friendly attention to them. And when you're ready again, on the out-breath if that's helpful, shifting attention now to the upper part of the back, the shoulder blades and the shoulders. Seeing any tightness or holding here. And if it feels okay, you might just want to explore what this is like. Maybe even just opening up to the sensations a little, rather than bracing against them. Or of course, knowing that you always have the option of moving the body, if you choose. And whatever you choose, as best you can, bringing a friendly attention to this experience. And when you're ready, perhaps taking a slightly deeper breath and letting go and moving attention now down through the arms to both hands, exploring sensations here. Noticing how, in this part of the body, there may be clearer sensations or even stronger sensations. Areas of coolness or warmth, tingling or pulsing. Tuning in to whatever's here, giving any and all sensations in the hands some friendly attention. And noticing how sensations can change from moment to moment. And then letting the sense of the hands fade into the background. And expanding now up into the wrists. Sensations inside and outside the wrists. And shifting again to the lower arms. Tuning in, exploring with friendliness. If that feels right for you, sensations in the lower arms. And moving again now. So letting go of the lower arms and moving into the elbow area. The joint itself. The skin stretched across the elbows. And then shifting once again now into the upper arms. Perhaps having a sense of the weight of the arms, the larger muscles in the upper arms, or the ways in which they might come into contact with other parts of the body. And then allowing the upper arms to fade into the background. And now, as you move attention up to the shoulders, remembering that if attention begins to wander, or even be pulled away, perhaps by thoughts, or sounds, or other distractions, then just noticing that, and gently guiding the attention back into the shoulders and any sensations here. And taking a deeper breath here if that feels right for you. And then letting the sense of the arms and shoulders go, and moving attention up into the neck. Bringing gentle, kind interest to whatever is here. Allowing this moment to be just as it is, as best you can. And now, allowing a sense of the neck to fade into the background as you move attention up into the head. So starting with the chin and lower jaw, noticing any tightness here, and not needing to change it, but perhaps bring some interest or kind curiosity to the point where the jaw meets the upper part of the head. And then moving on to the cheeks, the cheekbones, the skin stretching across the cheeks. And over now towards the lips. And if the lips are closed, then noticing the contact they have with each other. And if the lips are parted, maybe noticing any sensations of the breath moving across them as you breathe in and out, if that feels right for you. And letting go of a sense of the lips, and allowing attention to move into the mouth itself. Inside the mouth, the tongue, the teeth and the gums, the roof of the mouth, the back of the throat, and maybe any sensations of the breath here. And then moving out from the mouth and up towards the nose. Taking attention now up and over the upper lip and into the area of the nose. A sense of the outside of the surface of the nose and the nostrils. And inside the nose, and maybe a sense of the breath in this region. And now letting go of the sense of the nose and moving up to the area around the eyes, to the eye sockets, the eyeballs themselves resting in the sockets, and also the eyebrows. And then letting go of this area, letting it fade into the background, and moving attention up towards the forehead, this area of the body that expresses so much for us during the day. Noticing sensations here. Just allowing things to be just as you find them. And then letting go of the forehead. And expanding attention to the sides of the head. The ears. The area around the ears. The delicate shell-like structure of the outer ear, including the earlobe, or a sense of the inner ear. Noticing what's here. And then letting go of the ear as the focus of attention. And moving now to the back of the head. If you're lying down, there may be a sense of contact, a sense of the weight of the head, the back and the top of the head. So moving now from the back to the top of the head and noticing any sensations here. Maybe on the scalp. A sense of the hair maybe tingling, or maybe a sense of air moving across the scalp. Just bringing some curiosity to whatever you notice here. And then when you're ready, from this point at the top of the head, allowing attention now to expand and move down to include the whole of the body in awareness. Any and all parts of the body. As best you can. Holding this body with a sense of friendly awareness. And if it's available to you, perhaps just bringing a sense of allowing to the body. Allowing the body to be just as it is. Just as you are in this moment. And so, as you come to the end of this practice, just allowing yourself the time and space to choose what's right for you now. Maybe bringing a little bit of movement into the body, or simply choosing to stay where you are a little longer. But taking care as you bring this practice to an end.